Add to stage. There we go. Hello, hello, everybody. This is my first time to use this app, so I'm sorry about that. Let me check if you can hear me. Hello. I'm sorry about that. There we go. Hi. Finally figured it out. Hello, everybody. Good evening to those who are in the US, and good morning to those who are in the Philippines. Yeah, that was that was that was quite an experience. So yeah, we upgraded a little bit, and yeah, to give you the best experience that you can ever have. Um, during this learning sessions that we do every week. So today is November 1st, and apparently yesterday was Halloween, and my kids went out for trick or treat. And yeah, it was crazy. Like, I wasn't able to be with them because I was at work. I tried to come home early, but when I came home, they just yeah, they also finished their you know, trick or treating. So what happened was my daughter found a dog on our backyard. And so you last night we had two dogs here in the house. And yeah, she is big. Like, I think if she's gonna stand up, she's bigger than me. So it's why it was kind of crazy, because our dog Cebu, she doesn't like other dogs. She thought she's a human. So we tried to, like, introduce them to each other, but then Cebu won't stop. She really would like to get this other dog. And yeah, eventually she was able to bite her. And so that was it. We did everything to separate both of them. That, yeah, Cebu, our dog, she's very tiny, like, compared to this other dog. She was like times four of that dog. And she was more furious than that dog. And yeah, and this other dog didn't even bark on her. So yeah, that's just how crazy our dog is. But yeah, I hope you all guys are doing great. Yeah, once again, this is Janice Padilla, and welcome back to our weekly live stream. So lately we have been talking about the loss of growth, the 15 laws of irrefutable loss of growth by my mentor John Maxwell. And we talked about, I think, six laws already. And tonight we will be talking about my favorite, like, gosh, everything is my favorite. Yeah, the most painful law of growth. And yeah, apparently it's the law of pain. Yeah. So if I think for me, pain will either make us bitter or better. But if we are not wise enough, eventually pain makes us bitter. Like bitter, like all, all the hate and rebel in the world, right? Like, me myself, I had a lot of bitterness in the past because of the pain. And I think I don't know about you, but if you didn't experience pain in your life, I think everybody is, I mean, no one is exempted to experience pain, because there's a lot of we have a lot of kinds of pains, yeah, in our life. But before we get started, let me just quote what John Maxwell said. Good management of bad experiences leads us to great growth. So there is something great in bad experiences if we are just learning from them. Because yeah, but no one, as I've said, no one is exempted to experience these bad things, you know, in our lives. But learning from them is optional. Not everybody who is experiencing pain is learning from them. And I'm even guilty about it. Like I will have like made I can just share one story there. When I was younger, I'm so young at the moment, but when I was younger, I had this boyfriend for like we were like 7 years together. She was my first boyfriend. He was my first boyfriend, and yeah, we had really a bad breakup. So after that, what I did was I was just jumping from from one boyfriend to another boyfriend. So, yeah, I did not learn from that mistake. I did not grow from that pain. Instead, I became bitter. And yeah, that's just life. If we don't learn from those bad experiences, eventually God will, give us another trial. It will test us again, and if we just don't learn from them, it will just, it will just go back and go back until such time that we will learn from those mistakes. So what are those pains in our lives that we experience from time to time? So we have, pain of disappointment when we get disappointed from, with stuff or with other people. And yeah, that's painful. And what else? The pain of, yeah, sometimes incompetence. We just do things sometimes that, because we are like, we do some stupid things or we make dumb decisions. And yeah, we just can't blame anyone but our dumbness or our stupidity. But yeah, that's just life. I mean, who knows how to do life? Like, you wake up in the morning and then you do life already. It's just a learning experience. Life is, yeah, a learning experience every day. Life will just throw something on us that will challenge us. But yeah, we just experience good and bad, and that's it. There's no such thing as, a perfect life, or there's no such thing as, it's just a series of unfortunate events. There's always be good and bad. What else? Pain from losing something, or pain from or the pain of relationship when we experience breakup, divorce, and like eventually with friends too, when there's betrayal, there's like something to do with trust. If our friends or your best friend will, yeah, do something that will break your trust from them, then that is painful. What else? Pain of financial losses. Sometimes we just make decisions and, we lose a lot of money or stuff like that. And it's not easy, it's painful. And yeah, sometimes we are so competitive and we wanted to be the best, or, we are, we just have this pain that we are not always the best, or we're not number one, and it's frustrating because yeah, some people are just competitive. I can be competitive, like, I will have this goal and I wouldn't be able to reach it or achieve it. I will have this pain of frustration from not being able to achieve these goals. But that's just life. Every now and then, as I've said, we get to experience these things. So The question now is, how do we turn pain into gain? Like, God give us this, trials. God will test us, and just to know if how we, just for him to know how we handle things, because we tend, yeah, yeah, we always fail. Sometimes we fail ourselves and make bad decisions, and sometimes we blame other people because of those decisions. So what I think is, we should view pain in a way that, we turn it into positive experience. And how do we do that? Number one is choose a positive life stance. Or, life stance is just your overall frame of reference. Like having a positive attitude in handling things. So this is just the set of expectations and assumptions about life. How we view things, how we give meaning to everything that's going on, and how we interpret those experiences. Because number one, life is filled with good and bad, ups and downs, highs and lows, and we couldn't avoid it. That's just how we roll. That's just life. And then, of course, some of the good and bad we can't control. We have no control over the things that's going on with us. Like, one day you have a lot of money, and then the next day you lose it all because something happened. And sometimes it's just not our fault. Sometimes it's just life. And some of the good and bad, these good and bad or bad experiences find us. It teaches us who we are. It helps us discover who we are at that certain point in time. So we have to view pain as something, like, a positive experience that will introduce us to who we really are at that moment and what we need to work on so we can grow that aspect of our lives. Because you guys, you owe it to yourself to grow every day. You owe it to yourself to learn things. You owe it to yourself to do life, because we can't just throw spaghettis on the wall and not being able to understand why things happen to us or why things happen for us. Because everything has a meaning. God will give us problems that, He is very confident that we can handle. God will give us problems or pains for our good. And just the thought that if we experience if we have bad experiences, it will just help us to discover who we really are at the moment. That is very liberating. And I mean, like, we really don't want to experience this bad things, because, like, woohoo, yay, I'm experiencing this. Yeah, it's really crazy, it's terrible, and yeah, it's not funny, right? We don't want this. We don't want all those bad things. We have ups and downs, and yet we always want to be, I mean, we always want the ups, not the downs. But it is in our darkest moments that we get to understand who we really are. And it is in our darkest moments that we even seek God. And it's in our darkest moments that we have all these breakthroughs eventually. And I really do believe in that. I just had, I mean, 2 years ago, I had a really bad experience. Like, like just for me, like, yeah, internally, like, in what's going on in me was like, this is not happening. Like, if this is just gonna be it, I don't want to do life anymore. I was at that moment, like, if this is just gonna be it, then take take everything from me that will just ruin me, that will just ruin who I am, because I don't want that. So I said that I really sick God at that moment. And I was just so confused why I was like, why I was so burnt out, why I was just dark, where I was always angry and I was always frustrated. And yet that was the most defining moment in my life that I really said to God, like, this is it. I'm not doing this all by myself. If you're not gonna be with me, if you're not gonna guide me on what I'm gonna do, I just want to give up. And so that was, yeah, that was the moment that God, I started seeking God. And like, that was a journey. Because if, like, yeah, it's low battery, my Mac, your Mac will sleep soon unless plugged into a power outlet. Okay, let me grab power outlets. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm back and we're charging. So yeah, tell me about pains. And I have not just a few and a lot of them. And yeah, most of them made me bitter, but yeah, when I started to realize that God is using my pains to find me where I was, where I am, then yeah, so if not because of pain, I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be speaking to you and helping you on your growth journey. So yeah, if I have a positive life, or if I have a positive um stance in life, the good and the bad will become better. If I have a positive outlook, if I take pain as something that will help me, the good and the bad will become better. If I have negative life stance, or I have a negative outlook in life, the good and the bad will become worst. Therefore, what? This is no brainer. Therefore, choose to have a positive life stance, because it's not because of what happened to you, but it's all, it's going to be how you handle all these negative or bad experiences that life throws on you. So number two. So number one, we're talking about how you're gonna turn pain into gain. Number one, have a positive life stance. Number two, embrace the value of bad experience. When you are having a bad experience, I think the number one question that we're gonna ask, this gonna be? What is what is it that I'm gonna learn from this? So um early this year, just after the new year, I had this letter from a collecting agency. It was really bad. When I opened the letter, it was from my previous employer. So they turned my case to the collecting agency because I did not finish my contract with them. And now they are asking me to pay them 6 grand because of that breach of contract. Oh, guys. Oh, 6 grand. That's a lot of money. And who at that moment, I know like God knows I was ready for it. And so I just, all right, what is this is teaching me? I need to know what is this teaching me. And so yeah, I just have to, what am I gonna do? Yeah, I just have to suck it up, buttercup. So yeah, every time we get to experience all these bad stuff, let's just ask ourselves, what is this? What is it that I'm going to learn from this? And when we do that, we we think positively and we treat it as a lesson, not as a failure or not as something that, negative. So yeah, number 3 is embrace the pain and develop creativity. Wow. What you hate cannot, you can't be creative when you are, when you are full of hate. So when you get to experience, bad breaks, setbacks, business is not growing, um, breakups, divorce, job layoffs, all this stuff. We need to be creative and we need to, how to be creative is just to view it positively and embrace it. Embrace that negative emotion, embrace that negative experience, and move on with life. And, like, how am I going to solve this? How can I get through this? And yeah, usually we just, can we skip to the good part? Are you familiar when I am having a hard or a bad time, a hard day? I'm always like, Lord, I don't like this. Can we just skip to the good part? But it doesn't work like that. We need to go through the process. We need to go through the journey because after all, we don't have any choice. We have to go through it, right? And if we are hateful and if we are bitter, we couldn't think right. Yeah? How can you think right if you're full of bitterness? You can. But then if you view it differently, then, in a positive way, then you can create something or a solution. You can get into, you can create a solution and how to get through it and how to face that storm that you are going through at that moment. So yeah. And pains, bad experiences, failures, setbacks, storms, whatever you call it, make us realize that or reflect of what we can change. So things will change. But if you're not in the right state of mind, you can never think like that, you know? But if you know something is wrong, you embrace it, you embrace the journey, then you can be able to, you know, ask yourself and, make changes so it's not gonna happen again. Because, yeah, it's just, for things not to happen again, for things to change, we need to change. Because if we don't change, it's just gonna it's just gonna happen over and over again until such time that we learn from those experiences. So yeah, Here are the pain principles that John Maxwell shared, and I'm going to share it to you. Number one, pain brings reality to our lives. Life is not easy. Yeah, who said life is easy? It isn't. And when you overcome one problem, there's another one that's bigger than that. So it just doesn't get easier. And, it makes us understand life better. Number two, it allows us to reflect and evaluate. Because as I've said earlier, these bad experiences, no one is exempted from it. Everybody gets to experience this bad moments are set, but learning is optional. Not everybody is learning from their mistakes. And I hope you choose the latter. I hope when you get to experience all these nightmares, you use it to grow better or to grow and become a better person. And yeah, make pain as your tool to become better. Number three, pain motivates us to make changes in our lives. Because as I've said, for things to change, we have to change. And number four, pain humbles us. You know that, come on, we don't figure out this life in just one blink of an eye. We don't really have it all together. We're just the same in this journey, trying to figure out how we do life and how to treat people, other people better, and how to, we're just trying to we're just even trying to figure out what on earth we are here for and why we are alive, right? And so pain humbles us. Pain make us realize that we are just humans and we're not supernatural, and you know we're not invincible. So when we are humbled, that's when we turn to God and asked for strength, asked for more wisdom, asked for more guidance. And lastly, if done correctly, pain makes us a better person. So what should we do? Shake it off. Every time life happens, shake it off. Move forward. You can either be, sometimes we can either be pigeons or statues. You know what the pigeons do? Yeah? Poop everywhere. Sometimes we do that to other people. We poop everywhere. Poop, poop, poop. We hurt someone's feelings. Yeah, but sometimes I mean, sometimes consciously we do that. Sometimes unconsciously we tend to hurt other people. But guess what? Sometimes we also are statues, like statues, you know? We don't even do anything. And yet somebody's pooping on us. We're so good, we're so nice, we're treating everybody well, and yet somebody's pooping on us. So, yeah, I hope you're learning a lot today. I mean, yeah, this is no brainer. Let us use pain so we can become a better person. Because if not, yeah, we can either just be bitter or better. Once again, this is Janice Padilla, and Thank you for spending this time with me. If you think this is helpful, feel free to share this to your loved ones. And I hope you all have a great night. I love you and keep growing. God bless. Bye.